Happy birthday, Jace, because I know you wouldn't ask for this day in particular if it wasn't in a very important date to you. Anyway, this is Jace's Jace, Jessica, and Friends series. Get used to that Beyond watermark because it ain't leaving anytime soon. I don't know if that's an actual place. I can't tell. I don't know anywhere that isn't basically where I live.
Everything figured out, and now just one more thing needs to be added to the video. Only question is, what else can I add to make the video even better?
An odd-eyes pendulum dragon.
Okay, I got nothing, and all of this thinking is giving me a headache. It's at times like this that I wish I still had her in my life, but it's been just over 2 years since the breakup, and after I messed everything up with her.
I cannot believe you left me to be with another girl. What is wrong with you, Jace?
Where do I begin?
Let me explain. It was an accident, and I didn't realize that she was.
Dang it, Jace, you've canceled enough series. You have to cancel people now, too?
Trust you or take you back after what you did. That will never happen. You and I are done for good. Goodbye, and you better stay out of my life.
Ah!
I can't keep thinking about what happened on that terrible night.
It's like Edward Monk's The Scream, in a sense.
Jace, can you please come downstairs? Someone wants to see you.
Sure, Mom. I'll be right down. 1 minute.
I'm sure it couldn't possibly be the guy I was thinking of. The girl I was thinking of. Bleh. I can English good.
Wanted to.
But fucking up!
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been actually about 4 minutes. Were you daydreaming about me again? I plead the fifth.
Jessica K. Anderson.
I'm surprised that you still remember me. It's been, like what, over 2 years since I last...
I never want to see you again for good. 2 years later.
But what are you?
I'll explain everything in just a minute.
What are you? An alien.
And have a talk?
Yeah, of course, if you really want to. The living room is just over this way. So,
Frowny face.
I have no idea where to start. I honestly never expected you to come over to my house. Then again, I suppose that's a good place to start. How did you even find out where I live?
Well,
I've been stalking you for 3 years, but we broke up 2 years ago.
actually told me you were living here. If I remember correctly, their names were Jessica Andrews, Heather Campbell, Amber Larson, and Jason Ranford. Jessica was mainly the one who gave the best information about you to me, since you and her are living in the same neighborhood.
Huh.
Plus, she says you hang out with her from time to time.
Well, I'm still actually surprised that her parents, Kate and Jerry, let me hang out with her, since I am 21 and she's 5 to 6 years younger than me.
Regardless, Jessica's been saying really positive things about you, especially when you hang out with her and her friends whenever they ask you to tag along with them.
Alright. I think we should move on to me asking you another question. And it's one that's been bothering me since you got here. Why did you want to come to my house in the first place? Even after everything that happened between us?
I don't know.
Because I want to tell you the full story of what happened and how I handled things after we broke up, and what led to my decision for me to come here.
Well, I'm all ears, so you can go right ahead and say whatever you have to say.
Thanks. So, I guess all of this started on that fateful night, on June 1st, 2017. As you already know, after I angrily told you to stay out of my life, I took off running in anger and frustration, and didn't stop running until I got back home. But the moment I got into my room, I broke down and started crying. I cried and cried and cried, all night. Not only because of what you did to me, but because of how I talked to you in such an angry manner. It took me a few weeks to recover from the breakup and a few months to really comprehend what happened, but eventually, I came to accept the fact that I should apologize for how I yelled at you. But when I went to go and try to apologize to you, I came to realize that you had moved away somewhere else, and I didn't know where.
Yeah, my parents to have any trouble facing forward after the two of us broke up, so in August of 2017, they both decided it was best that I moved away, and they figured Tyndale Valley would be the best ideal location.
I see.
Parents just moving everything they need to because their child is having trouble. You don't care that much. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's me.
And I didn't have the chance to apologize. I started taking antidepressant medicine and even took up therapy on a monthly basis.
Shit.
Throughout the rest of 2017, throughout all of 2018, and for a small portion of 2019 in the beginning, I had trouble accepting the fact you were gone and I just wasn't myself. There was even a time when I considered the possibility of trying to take my own life.
Jeez Louise.
You were thinking about? Jess, why would you ever think about doing something as dangerous as that?
I honestly don't know, but my friends clearly saw how depressed I was, and when they found out I was considering taking my own life, they immediately got me some help. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now. So, for many months, up until October 2019, I saw a therapist on a more weekly basis. My parents kept close tabs on me, and they helped me recover from all of the pain I was experiencing and feeling, both physically and mentally. However, there was something that kept me moving forward, and allowed me to get through such difficult times while I was getting the help I needed.
And what kept you going, Jess?
It was you.
Of course.
I was the reason you were able to keep pushing and moving forward.
You might not believe me, but yes, I'm speaking the honest truth to you.
And now you finally noticed me, senpai.
Despite the breakup and all of the negativity that I had towards you, you're the reason that I was able to push forward through my most darkest times. Every day, I would think about the times we had together, both good and bad. In addition, I wanted to make sure that one day I could see you again, and apologize for everything that happened on that terrible night, resulting in us breaking up. I never should have yelled at you. I should have given you a chance to speak up. If I only had let that happen, we could have somehow possibly managed to work something out, and we wouldn't have gone our own separate ways. Honestly, I'm just as guilty as you, for causing things to happen the way they did. And for that, I am so sorry, Jace. I feel terrible for my part in all of this.
There, Jess. It's alright. Now, please stop all of that crying, and look at me. I want to say something myself. There, that's much better. Now, Jess, I just want to say that you're not the only one who should feel guilty. I feel bad about what I did to you as well, especially when I broke your heart and caused tension between us. If it's alright with you, I'd like to try and tell you what I was going to say on that night.
Of course. Go right ahead.
Thanks. So, I was
You
going
kept
to
this
tell
for
you
those years?
the girl who I left you for was actually lying to me, and she wasn't 100% being truthful. Turns out she was still debating on specific things with her boyfriend, whom I assumed she was done with. However, turns out it was all a big lie, and when I realized what happened, I immediately felt ashamed of myself, because I made a terrible mistake of leaving one of the best girlfriends I ever had. Jess, I am so sorry for what I did on that night as well. I shouldn't have done what I did in the first place by breaking your heart, not after everything we did together as a couple. Can you ever forgive me?
Of course. You did say you were sorry, and it looks like you really meant it. So, I forgive you, Jace. But now I have to ask, do you forgive me as well? After all, I had a part in all of this too, by not giving you a chance to say what you wanted to say.
Well, you did say you were sorry, Jess, and it looks like you really meant it. So, I forgive you.
Well, isn't this just lovely? You and I are sitting here in the living room, and have managed to push past the troubles and problems that started this all and kept us apart.
Let's do it right here, right now.
The past can be put to rest, and now we can move forward with our lives. But I feel bad that this friendship of ours can't continue. I'm assuming assuming you're just visiting Tyndale Valley tonight, right?
You dork. I'm not
Sorenadol ka na.
I actually live here in Tyndale Valley now. Right here, in the very same neighborhood as you.
What are the odds?
You did?
Hijinks to follow.
Please tell me you're not joking.
It's no joke. I live just 3 blocks away from you, so you and I are going to be neighbors and be close to each other.
I don't know what to say. This is surprising to me.
The fact that you and I are going to be close by now makes me want to admit something to you, Jace. I'd really, really like it if you and I got back together and had a fresh start as boyfriend and girlfriend.
Happy birthday, Chase, in a sense.
You want to get back together with me? You want me back?
I do, I really do. Jace, there's no doubt in my mind, you're the best possible fit for me. No guy has ever showered me with so much love and respect like you have. So, what do you say? Do you want to be my boyfriend again, and get back together with me?
I'd be honored, Jess. I'd be a fool to decline your offer, and I might not get the opportunity again. So yes, I'd really like to be all yours again. And this time, I'll keep true to my word, that I won't leave you for another girl.
Now that is exactly the kind of thing I wanted to hear from you. If you keep true to your word, I promise you, Jace, that the rewards you get from your time with me will be very, well worth it.
Friends with benefits, Jace. Friends with benefits.
So, what should we do now?
I think that answer is obvious.
Let's
Come
fuck.
here and kiss me, you dork.
Well, can't say no to that.
Isn't that right, audience? Oh. Damn, limitations are beyond. Okay, so that was the beginning of Jace's Beyond series. Now, let's address the elephant in the room when you all saw me go, what the frick? Like, might as well just get to that one first. I didn't say anything at the time because I wanted to focus on the episode and see, like, what happened. Because it just seemed like the way it worked out was the fact that Jessica explained that she had this big dramatic thing because not only the way she was treated, but also the fact that of how she treated. So she had these big depression, needed therapy, thoughts of suicide, all that shit. And then when Jace had his turn, it was basically like, oh, I found out this girl was cheating on her. I thought I was going out with this girlfriend who thought she was done with her boyfriend, but turns out, no, I was being lied to. And that was it. So just like, it's kind of like apples and oranges. But at the same time, there's still more time in the series, so it's like, hey, we could still find out that there's more trauma to Jace than meets the eye, because it just sort of seemed like, Jessica gets this big, deep backstory, and then Jace is like, oh, I was sad for a little bit. It kind of sucked. Just like, what? But at the same time, I do want to specify that this kind of also solves a thing where it's like, maybe it's because I'm usually the media where two people break up, it's all the guy's fault, it's never the woman's fault, ever. Like, usually, because that's usually how it is in these sorts of situations, but realistically, in the real world, if the two people break up, yes, it's probably the guy's fault, but it's probably the woman's fault a little bit too. Like, here's how fights usually happen in a relationship. Something starts it, and then there's a fight, and they both say something terrible. Like, yes, there's those occasions where it's like, it's all one side. Like, I'm not gonna say those situations never happen. It can never be like all the guy's fault, but just like, why is it always just the guy's fault and never the woman's too? Like, you don't think she ever said anything that was terrible too that might have caused one thing to lead to another? Like, usually there's cause and effect. It's not just a straight line of all one thing. I don't know. It's just sort of like in a sports game. You like, what if Fritz, like, I don't know, like, what if, or to go off the Olympics, you'd be like, well, America said they got this many points in the frisbee throwing competition, and Russia said they got this many, so I guess we'll just accept both sides. I don't know. Or one side is more right. I don't know. But whatever. I just had this shocking reaction to it because I'm like, wait, what the frig was that? But at the same time, when I gave it more thought, I was like, you know what, this is fun. This is actually better considering it's not like one side is evil and has to make up for their sins. It's just a misunderstanding and all that jazz. So yeah, And plus, of course, there's still plenty of episodes to go more in depth with it. You can't get everything done in one episode, so yeah, that's a positive side to it. So yeah, I had the what the frig reaction, but that was like an initial reaction before you think about it a bit more, you know? It's called a blind reaction for a reason, even if I don't even dub this as blind reactions. I don't even dub these as reactions, even. Mostly because reaction is probably one of those things that's used to death, but no one calls their things let's watch. That'll take off like hotcakes. Why is no one watching my videos? I don't know. Not every new idea is a good idea. Oh well. Now it's just kind of my branding, so I'm stuck with it. Plus, it would also lead to the problem of being like, well, then people might click on my video thinking it's this video, and then I'm talking about myself in someone else's video. Welcome to my channel. Anyway, so yeah, there's still more time to flesh out that bit of the thing. It just kind of seemed kind of weird. There was also the thing, you'd be like, I can kind of relate to that backstory that Jace had, considering I was kind of used like that at one point in a relationship, where it was like, or I thought I was being cared for, but really she would just after me because I could do her stuff, and then I would just, I'm not going to go into the specifics, just one of these were like, yeah, I was in kind of an abusive relationship, and then when I realized, but eventually I did see, be like, wait a minute, now it's one of those things where just like, I saw what was happening, like, I took a step back and looked at everything and be like, wait a second, and then after that I was just like, nope, fuck, this is done, no. So I got out of that situation, and that's going to be the end of that conversation, because I don't really feel like going into it. But yeah, I've been in that sort of situation. In case you couldn't get it off, and like I said 1,000 times, and this is how you know I'm not scripted. And this is why, also how you know why I should be scripted. What else? There was something on it, something like, yeah, it's kind of weird that the family, everyone just moved away after the relationship thing happened with the family, but I guess could say, be like, well, maybe it had more of a serious effect on Jace then, and that's one of those subtext things that I didn't read into. It's also one of those things where it's like, bitch, I was bullied for years of my life, and my family never thought, let's move away, no! And that would never be on the table, considering their work is pretty close to where they live, so it'd be like, why would they hurt themselves to help me? It's 2 versus 1. I don't know. Different lives for different people. Maybe it's just some people that's normal, and to other people, nope. I don't know. To be fair, this isn't a fictional universe, so it's like, I don't know, where everyone has everyone has text-to-speech voices, and everyone has to stand up to scooch over, and no one can kiss. This is going to be very awkward. Other thing I do want to mention, though, I find it weird that it's starting with like after the end of a relationship and then restarting it, because normally how fiction does it is like they have the breakup thing, and then the first season or something is going to be like trying to get back the relationship or something like that, or like trying to make up for the mistake. Like usually it doesn't end with, and then after all this happened, we're going to start up. Like usually we start with, we're in a relationship and Jace fucked it up, or it's going to be, or it's like, now you just have to earn her back. I think it just kind of seems kind of weird that we just start. It feels like we start at the end of a storyline. I don't know if I can give this to anyone who does, but it's kind of like Sonic Unleashed in a sense, where it's like the opening cutscene feels like the end of a Sonic game that we never got. It just kind of feels weird, but it's, it's something new and different that I haven't seen before, so I'll give it that. And so, yeah, and plus this, I say that it hasn't been in season, but I doubt this is going to be like some sort of seasonal series. All the series uploads whatever the frig Jace wants, so, I mean, you'll probably try to keep it like monthly or something, but I don't know. So, yeah. Those are really my initial thoughts. Looking forward to see where this goes in the future, of course, so, excuse me. I am interested to see where this is going in the future and all that good stuff. And I don't really have an outro for this one. Happy birthday, Jace. Sayonara.